Hello, welcome to the SAS and Teradata Technology Showcase. I am joined today by Lisa Dotson from SAS.
Hello.
And Paul C. from Teradata.
Hello.
And my name is Tom Nguyen from Teradata. In this segment, we will share with you a very popular feature that many SAS users utilize that is called SAS Formats. So I'm going to turn over to Lisa to give you an overview of what it is and what it can do, and then turn over to Paul to demonstrate the feature.
Thanks, Tom. Yes, SAS formats are hugely popular with SAS users, and like base SAS procedures and data quality that we've seen in the other videos, formats too can be leveraged inside of Teradata so that other non-SAS applications or non-SAS users can also benefit from the very popular SAS format.
Okay, thank you. So I'm just going to define a fairly simple format here. The formats can be as complex as you want. They can be hierarchical. They can be whatever you feel like. We can push them all into the database. The main benefit of that is prior to this feature being available, even if you're running a procedure that would be pushed out into the database, like a proc freak, because there was a format applied to it, Teradata took one look at it and said, I don't understand what this format wants. Here, just have all the raw data, you handle it. And SAS then applied the format and did the processing. Now that we can push these formats into the database, we can actually get the benefits of all the other push-down functionality, even when we have a format applied. So I'm just running this simple form, or defining this simple format. And then I define some macro variables that contains my database information. And then I need to publish these formats into the database. So I start off by initializing my format publishing system by this macro call. Looks rather cryptic until you realize it actually does stand for something. IND for in database, TD for Teradata, PF publish formats. Don't blame me, I didn't design it or name it. Now we actually send the formats into the database. So we call a macro, again, in DTD, in database Teradata, and we spell out publish formats. Tell it where our format lives. In my case, I just defined it in SAS work. Tell it where we're going to publish it to. And we have an option to create a table in the database that lists all the formats. So if you're like me and don't have a very good memory, when you come back in 2 weeks' time, and you can't remember what you've published into the database, you can just query this table and it will tell you what was published when. Really handy. So
Does that happen to you a lot, Paul?
Yes, it does, unfortunately. Getting old is not pleasant. So it's going through, and what it's actually doing under the covers is it's generating a whole bunch of C code. That C code is getting a wrapper put around it. It's being compiled into what we call a vendor-defined function, which acts as an extension to the SQL language. And what differentiates a vendor-defined function from a user-defined function is it's supported. If something goes wrong, you hop on the phone and complain, and we will fix it. Doesn't matter who you complain to. You can complain to Teradata, you can complain to SAS. We'll sort out behind the scenes whose problem it is and fix it and get back to you. So now I'm going to run a proc freak. And I'm applying my format, my TXN cat format. So let's run this. And the simple fact it came back so quickly is a good indication that the formats have been applied. You can see my categories down the side here. And if I look at the SQL, again, the magic blue words, SQL generation will be used to construct this. Now, if we look at the SQL, we don't see any mention of formats in here, but what it's actually done is the Access Engine has taken the SQL and rewritten it to apply the formats, which we can see here as these case statements. The reason it did that is executing native SQL is quicker than executing a vendor-defined function. If the Access Engine could not, for any reason, rewrite the SQL, you'll see a function in here called SAS_put, and then the name of the format that you published. That's calling that vendor-defined function. And if you wanted to use these formats in other third-party tools, you could actually have your SQL call that SAS_put function and make use of these formats within the database.
Paul, thank you. So now we have loaded data, cleansed the data, manipulated data so that can be used, and now we're expressing the data in a way that the users can make sense of the data. In the next session, we're going to show you how you can take all this and develop a model. Lisa, Paul, thank you, and thank you for your attention.